What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. A merry hi-do to all of you, and I hope your early year is going quite well. At the moment, it is a fine, breezy 75 degrees here in California. I know. I just had to throw it out there. I saw a meme the other day that it said like the best part about living in California, or the best part about winter in California is watching it happen to everyone else. And so I figured I would just throw that out there. Our weather's pretty nice right now, although it is odd for us. Usually we're down at like 26 degrees right now. Fahrenheit, of course. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do the conversion in my head. 14 over 9, yeah, whatever. We don't do math here at the Nerd Castle. But what I will say is that I hope that things are going well with you and yours. We have some unbearably warm weather going on right now, though, for the middle of winter, which is very, very strange. Like 75 degrees in January? Unheard of normally. Usually it's like 25 every single day by now, but I digress. In the previous episode, we had talked about working our way. We wanted to outrun steel. That was the #1 goal, was getting steel out of our crafting menu. So if we can outrun steel and get to mithril, I think we'll be all right. But at the moment, we're a little bit low on iron. We're a little bit low on steel. We're kind of grabbing the last vestiges of it out of all of the different walls and hoping that we can find 1 or 2 more veins, just so this whole thing won't turn out nasty on us. Now, I can't guarantee that it won't. I can't guarantee that it will, but I think our best option at this point is just to pull a marathon runner and hope that we make it to the end of the pipe before we run out of iron. So let's get to our crafting menu and take a look, and let's figure out how long it's going to take us to get from here to there with regards from steel to mithril. So the mithril helmet, I apologize, I'm kind of thumbing through menus right now and looking. Oh, we have silver coming up next too. Also something that I hadn't expected. I need to cast the Summon Imp spell, so let's do that really rapidly so that it'll allow us to move forward and get our work done, because obviously we don't need this right now. I mean, I could summon some imps. Oh, those are badass, dude. Those are super sick. Kind of reminds me, I think there was a spell like in Shinobi 2 where, well, I don't think it like reminds me of that, but I'm trying to think of the game. But there was a game that I used to play for like the Sega Genesis where your special power was you would summon like an ass load of imps that would just fly out all over the place. Or I'm sorry, it was an ass load of it was crows. That's what it was, crows. So you would summon like ravens or something. There'd be dozens of them and they would go do your stuff. But anyways, that spell's pretty cool. I'll probably keep it up my sleeve just in case I need it. Where are they all fly? Oh, they do work too. Well, how long do they last? Oh, that is the coolest thing. I am just giddy inside. I mean, I have butterflies. I'm so excited about this. This is badass, dude. Wow, they're able to carry this stuff around. This is amazing. I like that spell. You know what, imp spell? You're all right with me. I wonder if they disintegrate or something, though, like, after a while. Still, it's a cool spell. It costs a ton of mana, though. I mean, the amount of mana that thing costs is definitely going to drain us dry pretty rapidly, like an over-aggressive vampire. But let's get back to work here. Oh, I missed one. There it is right there. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is let's get over to here. Yep, we're going to have to do it. So let's go all the way down to there. And then we'll mine out that way, and we'll deal with it as it arises, or deal with the problems as they arise. But there's another iron vein down here, and I really want to hit that. You see how many reallys I used right there? That's how you know. It's not just because I drank like 14 Pepsis just a second ago. I'm not that hyper. It's all right. Let's go to our equipment menu, and I noticed I had another Yatagan, and I want to put that on somebody. Do we have another swordsman anywhere? Nay, said the horse. So let's go over here, and we'll replace this guy down the pipe, and then we'll just pass this silver blade on down. Pretty soon we should be fairly well equipped. We're still running a little bit too much leather for my liking, but I didn't want to hit recrafting like full stream until we get to something that we have a lot of. The problem with the iron that we've been using is they've been using it for all of our crafting projects as well, so I've got to decide whether I want to equip people versus whether I want to build new beds, and that whole situation really puts me in a nasty spot where I've got to make harsh decisions about what resources we allocate where, especially on such a small map where there is the harsh likelihood that we could just run out of things. I mean, we may just run out, and that's very, very bad, so we'll get to work right now. Let me get rid of all these spider webs. These spider webs are starting to bug me. They are everywhere. On this side, we need to get rid of that. There we go. So we'll wipe those out. We'll kill off that snail. Good. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back over this way, and it looks like we've got more iron here too, so we may be alright. I mean, I may just be panicking prematurely. I don't know. Sometimes it's good to be premature about things. Other times it is really, really bad to be premature. You never quite know what the situation's going to be in life. Maybe I was panicking a little early, though. We've hit a new couple veins, and I wasn't quite realizing that we hadn't gone all the way to the right end of the map either, so we may find another 50 to 60 iron before we get down to the bottom. With regards to this dragon problem, I don't know how much gear we're going to need to fight those dragons. We may need mithril, we may need silver. I don't really know what I should be equipping myself with to fight dragons. I mean, they're kind of badass. They definitely seem to have the upper hand. They're kind of the Anderson Silva of monsters we've been fighting lately. I said Anderson Silva, which sounds like the D&D character that fights with his fists like a monk or something that's based on the MMA person. But anyways, let's take this out this way, and I'm going to try to get rid of some of these plants, and we'll go off to the right too and see if we can grab some of that coal. We are still, while we're escaping from iron as a commodity, we're also fully underneath the yoke of coal as a commodity, so we're constantly going to be needing more coal, so we might as well just get it all now while we can, so that we don't have any breaks in service while we're playing through. Put in some torches to keep all the grass from growing. One in the background right there, but I don't see anything else along this line. I mean, we got a little bit of coal right here that we could get at if we felt the need to. But I think I'm going to leave it where it's at for right now. I don't think our coal supply actually is a little bit lower. Okay, so we may consider doing that too. Now that our supply train is getting a little bit longer to get down here, I think what I'll do is we'll start doing some teleports to make sure that this work gets done quicker. What is he doing? He's doing something, but I'm not sure. Let me whip up some bridges, or at least see if I have any extra ones, and we'll cross that chasm right there. I have 2 of them, and I need 3, so let's build one more. What we'll do right here is to make this a little bit more convenient, we'll drop all 3 of those so that they can walk across this without any major issues. The final thing we'll do is we'll take some of those ladders that we had crafted up earlier on, and we'll drop them right here. Because I'm all about convenience. They say that Bill Gates said this, but I'm not sure if he said this. Bill Gates said that he would rather hire a lazy person than a hard-working person because he said the lazy person figures out how to get the job done in the most efficient way possible. I don't think Bill Gates would have actually said that, but that's what the quote was labeled. But anyways, we're going to try and be as lazy as possible in the hopes that maybe Bill Gates will send a whole bunch of gold to our dwarven city. He'll help us out with some subsidies or something. Please help us, we're starving. We ate a boot last night. It was awful. Oh, and we got a fight coming in. We're at 2 times speed right now, so we've got like 3 minutes left until they're gonna hit us with a really nasty string of monsters. I've got a friend right now that's like trying to potty train his kid, right? And he was asking me about it. He's like, well, do you know how your parents potty trained you? And I was like, yeah, but my potty training wasn't without like its own set of risks. So example, like for how it went down with me, and this is what I told him. I was like, my parents, they would give you candy like whenever you went and dropped a Duke, and like that was considered like a successful move, like that's how they reinforced it. Now the problem with this whole thing is that I was a crafty little kid and I figured out that I could just be like, oh yeah, I went, and then flush it and go back out. And so what I would do is I would go to the bathroom and like flush the toilet and then come out and be like, give me candy. It was Raisinets specifically. But anyways, there's a certain irony there because raisins make you have to poop. But anyways, they would give me Raisinets. So I'd go in and I would flush the toilet, and then I would collect my candy for free. And so in order to make my parents, in order to make this more an honest exchange, my parents instituted like a system of habeas corpus with poo, where you had to like show them. Now, so that what that meant is you like didn't flush, and then you know the kid had to come in and show you their handiwork. They had to show you their masterwork craft, and then from there you would get the candy. Now the problem with this system of habeas corpus is anybody that has like a kid will realize that a kid will do anything to get candy, and so you've created a system in which like every time the kid poops they want candy. And the problem that arises from this is that social situations become very, very awkward when your kid sprints into the living room during a card party or like a poker party and demands that like everybody in the room come look at his poo so that he can eat candy. And of course this did actually happen. This is like a real thing that occurred when I was like 2 or 3 or 1, or I don't even know how old kids are when they get potty trained. I've resolved not to have children for a very long time because I can barely take care of myself as it stands. It's one of those weird odd situations where you're like, I'm not sure I could keep another life form alive. I mean, ask my goldfish. I mean, my goldfish can't talk, but he is definitely no longer with us. And so if my training with a goldfish is any indicator of how well I would do with an actual child, I think I'm going to save the world from that likelihood. I'm just going to back away from the idea, and I'm going to leave it gracefully. Looks like we've got some more product over here to be mined out. And by product, I mean iron. And so we'll get our hands on that as rapidly as possible. We've still got this to work out down here too, so we'll just kind of mash all that out and make sure that we get it all. We'll put in a ladder there. And that floor space, no, we'll leave that in where it's at right now. Let's go over to here, and we're going to try and get at this iron right here. So we'll mine out that 2x4. Over here, we also need to keep work flowing. I feel like I'm not working very efficiently. I'm talking too much. Let's get back to mining. Hopefully they don't mine this in a stupid order. If they do, it's going to frustrate me, but hopefully they'll get all that out of there without burying themselves in a landslide or being like, oh my god, I chopped off my finger, or anything else like that happening. Kill that off, because snails are persona non grata with us. We don't like snails at all. I don't know why. We're snacists. That's all you can say about it. Here, I don't know why dwarves are snacists, but they are. They just don't like snails being around. And, you know, sometimes we had these little, when I was growing up when I was a kid, we had these little boxes in front of our house that were meters that told the PG&E or whoever who supplied your water, or the municipality, like who supplied your water. Oh god, that could come out to be a major problem. Anyways, it told the city like how much water you used, and while this battle is raging here, I feel like we're gonna have casualties. Let's put down a portal so that somebody can escape if they need to. But as I was saying, inside those little meter boxes there would always be like thousands of California snails, which I've heard are actually a delicacy elsewhere. This is just, I don't know if this is an urban legend, but I've heard like the California land snail that's just like out in our gardens. I've heard that somewhere over in Europe somewhere, like it's a delicacy, and I'm not trying to be tongue-in-cheek right now, I'm being absolutely serious. Like, supposedly it's used to make escargots somewhere, and that like if you can collect a bunch of them and keep them alive, you can ship them off somewhere. Now, I don't know if that's one of those things that people tell their kids just to like mess with them, because you know parents sometimes like to mess with their kids by telling them like stuff that's not technically like, you can't validate it, essentially. Why is nobody fighting here? Oh my god, I hate you all. So this is one of those situations where all of my dwarves have failed me, and they have all refused to take a nap, which means I have to sit here and give them all health potions so that we aren't combat ineffective. Luckily, we have health potions. Were this earlier in the game, we would have quite the serious situation on our hands, so whatever. Our hairy-knuckled little hands. Stefan, there we are. Hopefully he gets into battle before he turns back into Urkel. There we go. And so now we've got a battle on our hands. Let's get going out here. And everybody should jump into battle freely now. Do you realize how much XP we're getting for each of these battles, and yet we still have not leveled up to 10? It makes me feel that there is some kind of bottleneck on the like, actual size that your civilization can accumulate to. Just sort of disappointing. Oh, that dwarf is toast. Yeah, that's a bug if I've ever seen one. Well then. Oh my god, they're all gonna do it. You guys are idiots of the highest caliber. God. Okay, so what did we learn? Don't leave little pits of water in the ground, because your dwarves will both find the means to they will simultaneously drown themselves and be stabbed to death. They will figure it out somehow. Never leave it up to a dwarf. Their ingenuity is not to be trifled with. They know what they're doing. When it comes to a project, they put themselves wholeheartedly into it. Let's get the remainder of that iron out, and all of that coal. That's a pretty good coal seam right there. I'm pretty happy about this. We could definitely use it. Looks like we got another termite mound in there too. Now our next dwarf should respawn, so losing a dwarf right now, it's the first time we've lost one in a very, very long time. Not really that concerned about it. We will pass his ceremonial Santa suit down the line though to somebody else that'll use it more appropriately. Since, you know, he's dead as dirt right now, it ain't really doing him a whole lot of good. Ceremonial Santa suit. Was that my swordsman that died? Okay, good, it wasn't my swordsman. So I'd be very disappointed with myself if it was a swordsman. We've also got his boots. And so, in a scavenger-like fashion, we shall pry the boots off the dead to put them on someone else that can use them. There we go. The equipment moves on down the line. It is the circle of gear. I don't know. I was going to do like an Azvanya type thing, but I guess I'm just going to leave it alone. I didn't want to quote the Lion King too heavily right now. I'm not in the mood. You got to be in the mood for a good Lion King sing-off. Like, you've got to be in the proper headspace. Let's... well, it looks like they mined through this semi-competently. Well then. Perhaps I shall put a portal right there. Yes? Of course. I'm running out of Red Alert of phrases. That's pretty much all of my... everything that I know how to say, like, in a Russian accent is from Red Alert. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of building going on either. This time I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to send people to nap time that need it. Looks like everybody's okay, though. I don't have anybody sitting in, like, the 1 heart range, so it should be okay. Once they get those 4 out, we can start mining out these and get a bit more iron. They finished off up here? Nay. Well then, let's get all the stuff out of the background, because that's a lot of coal. That's about 11 coal right there. I didn't count that by hand, but I mean, I figure it's around that amount. And hopefully if there's some in the background, it'll put us up into the 20s. I can't speak for it, but if it happens, I'll be pretty jovial. I might do like a celebratory dance, post it on the internet somewhere so people can laugh at me. It looks like we got another secret room right here too with like marble towers or something. Kind of weird. I don't know what's going to be in there, but we'll try and make our way down that way. Crafting tree. I said in the last episode we were going to do some crafting, and then I just never did it. I've got to place one of these. I think it was in the furniture menu. There it is. So I had never gotten around to placing any of our stoves. I said I was going to work on getting towards mithril in this episode, and I feel like I've done nothing other than mine for like the last 5 episodes. So we're going to remove both of those. Our population grew, so let's go take a look at our new member. Do we have 2 people named Thorin now? We do. We have 2 Thorins. Great. So now we got to keep 2 people named Thorin figured out. Fantastic. Let's give him an iron sword, an iron pickaxe, and then we'll find him some gear to throw about his tummy. And there it is, a belly plate to be worn in good faith. Then a little hat, and I think that pretty much... Actually, I should probably give him a bow if he's an archer. If he's got any extra skill in it, we may as well make it happen, Captain. We should also probably make some better arrows. I was thinking about that while I was laying in bed the other night, because I don't think about the normal things most people think about in bed. I start thinking about like how I'm going to make the next episode pop, and how I'm going to make it interesting. Let's put some feathers in there, because I don't think you use them for anything else. And what did I do wrong? Oh, we need resin too. Okay. Yep, there it is right there. 220. Oh, they all need to be crafted. That's going to suck. That's going to take forever unless it's a rapid crafting process. I don't even know where they make those at. Maybe at the crafting bench here? Oh, it is going to take up a double space. Bastard. I hate that so much. Because as you can see, I'm out of space for my crafting hub. Well, we're going to have to come up with a solution here then. We're definitely like a chemist on his lunch break. We're going to have to come up with a solution. So, I think... let's figure out how large these are first. Oh god, that's huge. Okay. Giggity. So let's... I suppose that one will do her. I mean, I don't really think we need to. It seems like that might be a bit of overkill with how large this thing is. Let's see if we can't put our crafting bench back in place, though, because we need it for other things. If I can find where it ran off to, or if it's even been hauled. Please fit. There we go. So we've managed to maintain our facilities at least slightly. Hopefully 2 of them can work on this, or maybe it'll be like warp speed, you know? Who knows? Let's drop in some more imps because I love that spell, and I'm like totally dead set now on using it at least 2 to 3 times per episode because it's awesome and it saves me workload. See these little guys just kind of carried around. I don't know what it's probably like 2 or 3 minutes. Most of the spells seem to have a 3-minute duration, so I'm going to assume that it's more or less the same for them. However, can my imps fight with bad guys, or do they just haul stuff? I think they just do menial labor. Let's look at the description of the spell. Yeah, they help collect resources. I wish they were permanent. I mean, I would love that. I would even supply them with extra food if I... Ooh, fireball. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Where is something for me to shoot with a fireball? Sheep. Yeah, buddy. That was awesome. Get a little too excited here. You could go through a lot of mana that way. I could see myself definitely being tempted with the incendiary arts. Now hopefully when we're crafting these arrows, the last time I used these arrows, they did a shit ton of damage. I mean, there's no other real word that I can use to describe it. A massive amount of damage. I really wanted to use shit ton. I just felt like saying it. But anyways, they do a lot of damage. Oh, we're out of food again, too. They do a lot of damage, and so I figure if we can get a nice stockpile of those, it's going to increase the efficiency of all of our archers and make them a bit better in frontline combat so that they can hide behind other people, deal a lot more damage, and make sure that our DPS is flowing properly, because when you get down to it, we got to make sure that we can kill things off before they kill us. I'm going to make some more health potions because I felt like those brought us down to the wire and saved our asses in that last situation. And I don't want to be there again with low health and no ability to make myself feel better. Yeah, we'll just make a bunch of them. We'll queue that all up. We've had somebody up here crafting them for the last little bit anyways. Let's get somebody over there to kill that zombie before he breaks the door, because he's definitely making a good run of it. There we go. Good. Let's get back to our crafting tree and make sure that we're doing stuff. We need to craft whatever the hell that is. We need to make some of this stuff. Okay, so we've got like tables with tablecloths. So let's make a couple of those. I prefer my tables with table sloths, but you'll leave me to my weird life fetishes. I want to pet a sloth. Deep down, I really do feel like I can't die happy until I pet a sloth somehow. There's a relief right there, and so the relieving fact of the matter is that we've gotten it done. Let's just place a stone bridge anywhere so that we can continue working on our crafting tree. And then the other thing that we had to do was the table with the tablecloth. So let's get to the fabric. We also need planks. And a few more bits of wood. That needs to be crafted too, and so we're going to have to take a couple seconds out now while we figure out... Yep, we're going to have to take a second here while we figure out whether or not it's going to be worthwhile to work on other things, so... We do have a lot of people working on random projects right now. We're a little bit low on mana. This does give us a little bit of an opportunity to test out how well the mana potions work, though. So let's guzzle one of those, or quaff them. It regenerates 3 mana points. Well, how do I drink one? I suppose that I just do it through here. Probably in the equipment menu like everything else. Doesn't restore a lot, but with the rate at which this stuff regenerates, it's definitely something to be aware of, that we do have that option now. We can give ourselves more mana, so if we had to throw down in a crazy pyro battle, like sometimes happens in Fantasy Kingdom, sometimes you gotta make a pyro battle happen, we can make it happen. Let's place some of these reliefs too. Because we finally put in that stone bridge. It looks like we build that over the top of another background object, which is an interesting way to use it. Still, I don't see myself using that too much. I really just like stone and wood, just general planks. That's what I always end up doing when I play games. I just don't like it. Let's remove the relief, and then we'll remove the bridge from there too. And that'll give us some of our bits back. And what else do we have going on here? We have an iron trap. Alright, so we'll make one of those. And I guess we can place them along this side of the base. Since the enemy hasn't really been spawning on our left much, I'm going to start booby-trapping the hell out of the right side. Maybe this little valley right here where we're growing some of our trees before. Since we're no longer using it for that purpose, I don't think we're going to have problems with water any further either, so maybe I'll fill that in too. And we'll just turn this into a long, flat space in which we can build our next tower, too. That is one of those endeavors that I completely and totally forgot that I promised to do, so maybe we'll do that in the next episode. We'll start working on our next stone tower. Let's get that done. I don't need it right there, so we'll cancel it. Once they put those in place, we'll have a nice little space here where we can put down some iron traps. Cool. Pretty happy with our progress in this game. This game turned out to have a lot more depth than expected. I'm really pleased with the amount of game time that I got out of Decavir's Craft the World. I mean, they deserve definite kudos. Oh good, they spawned in my base again. Well, let's get going. I think I need to equip my archers with the fire arrows. Yeah, you put them in there instead of using the bow. You give them the fire arrows and it does seem to make them a lot more badass. Who's firing them? Him? Yeah, there they go. Do you see how much damage that did? That dropped him like a heart and a half. That was a really brutal attack. Where did the base spawn at? Oh, it came up atop. Okay. Let's wipe that out rapidly because I can't stand the thought of it still existing. It doesn't really do anything if you leave it there. They're air drying their mushrooms. I also like the treasure trove that they have. This is the only type of treasure chest that the game has, so if I can get in here and like take the free treasure, that's what I'm gonna do in all cases. Unfortunately, only one guy at a time can beat on their base, so what else are you gonna do? You gotta sit here and watch him just kind of, look at him, he's got kind of like dead eyes right now. That is not a happy dwarf. That is a dwarf with some serious marital problems, or maybe just he just needs some antidepressants. I mean, we can give him some Zoloft if he needs it. We've got plenty. We've got ourselves we got a chemical laboratory right now. We can make this happen. We can basically just completely and totally Ritalin our entire society out if we need to. I prefer to avoid it, but if the need strikes us, we can make it happen. Let's put some salmon in there. I'm not a big fish fan. Me personally, I don't eat a lot of fish. I don't like it that much. But anyways, it looks like we've just about run out of time here. I apologize for not getting the things done that I said I was going to get done. I thought we would have time, but as with many things, it seems as though the clock has run short. So, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Craft the World. I look forward to seeing you as we finish this thing off, maybe getting down below and defeating off these dragons. I don't know if the spell to get to the next level is down there with them. Seems like a good place. If I was trying to hide a spell to go to the next level, that's where I would put it personally. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Take care out there, everybody, and farewell.